97, 98, solve the equation using the quadratic formula. And as we know the quadratic formula, x equals negative b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. And that's if we're talking about a quadratic of the form a squared plus ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. That's where we get a, b, and c from. So for 97, a equals 1, b equals 7, just the coefficients, c equals 7. So x equals negative 7 plus or minus the square root of 7 squared, b squared minus 4 times a times c all over 2 times a. So x equals negative 7 plus or minus the square root of 49 minus 28 over 2. X equals negative 7 plus or minus the square root of 21 over 2. I'll show these as the two solutions. X equals negative 7 plus the square root of 21 over 2. And x equals negative 7 minus the square root of 21 over 2. Those are our two solutions there. For number 98, a equals 5, b equals negative 3, and c equals positive 3. So x equals negative b, so negative 3 plus or minus the square root of negative 3 squared minus 4 times 5 times 3 all over 2 times 5, 2a. So x equals positive 3 plus or minus the square root of 9 minus 20 times 3 is 60 all over 10. So x equals 3 plus or minus the square root of negative 51 over 10. Square root of negative 51, I'm going to split that into square root of negative 1 times the square root of 51. Square root of negative 1 is I, radical 51. And there's no perfect square factors of 51 there. So x equals 3 plus or minus I radical 51 all over 10. So there are two solutions here. X equals 3 plus I radical 51 over 10. X equals 3 minus I radical 51 over 10. And if you wanted to express this in a plus bi form, it'll be 3 over 10 plus I radical 51 over 10. You would just split it. But again, I'm not sure what the multiple choice looks like.